everybody, and welcome to another episode of Fun Artifact Friday. Tomorrow, July 8th, marks the 80th anniversary since the murder of Sir Harry Oakes. If you didn't already know, Sir Harry Oakes once lived in the building that we're in right now. The Museum of Northern History operates out of the Sir Harry Oakes Chateau, this grand building that sits on the Lakeshore Mine property on the shores of Kirkland Lake. The chateau began as a modest log cabin, but when it was partially destroyed in a fire in 1929, Harry rebuilt it to the chateau that it is today. Harry is a predominant figure in the history of Kirkland Lake, as well as the history of mining in Canada. So what better way to honor him than by having a Fun Artifact Friday, a special episode all about Harry. Today I have for you the Sir Harry Oakes Memorial Book. This was gifted to Lady Eunice Oakes by the Board of Directors of the Lakeshore Mine in sympathy for the sudden passing of her husband in 1943. This book is an illuminated book or manuscript. It was uniquely handcrafted and has intricate designs and precious metals. This was gifted to the museum by the Oakes family in 1983, 40 years following the death of Harry. This book features original artwork and detailing by A.J. Casson. Though not an original member, Casson was invited to join the renowned Group of Seven in 1926 by famed artist Franklin Carmichael. The museum once loaned this piece to the Varley Art Gallery in Markham for a special exhibition in 2006 and 2007. You can see here that the book was signed by William Wright. In July 1911, Bill Wright was the first to discover the Kirkland Lake Break, the main fault line that supported 7 gold mines. He was one founder of the Wright-Hargreaves mine, which, like the Lakeshore Mine, was one of the most lucrative mines in the area. Wright and Oakes began as rival prospectors, but eventually became good friends and colleagues. Wright even became the vice president of the Lakeshore Mines Limited. Sir Harry Oakes was originally born in Maine, USA, as one of 5 children of William Pitt Oakes and Edith Nancy Lewis. Harry was said to be an average student, but his father had hopes of him becoming a doctor. Harry went to Bowdoin College and then attended medical school at Syracuse University in New York. When asked about his career aspirations, he said, "I am going to make $1 million." As you can imagine, Harry was extremely disappointed to learn that the average doctor's salary at the time was only about $3,000. He left medical school after 2 years in the program and thus began his search for gold. Harry followed the gold trail all over the world, through the Philippines, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, Mexico, and various locations in the States. He arrived, finally, in Northern Ontario. Legend has it that he arrived at the Swastika railway station in 1911 with only $2.65 in his pocket, and he was kicked off the train because he couldn't afford to go any further. As he couldn't afford to purchase his own mining claim, he partnered with the Tuff brothers and developed the Tuff Oakes mine, which is now known as Tober. Harry then purchased a collection of mining claims on the shores of and underneath Kirkland Lake. In 1918, he established the Lakeshore Mine. Over the course of its operation from 1918 to 1968, the Lakeshore Mine produced more than 8 million ounces, making Harry Oakes the richest man in Canada and one of the richest in the world. He used his fortune to buy luxurious properties in the US, Canada, and the UK. To give you a sense of the Oakes' lifestyle, the Oak Hall Estate in Niagara Falls, Ontario, has 35 bedrooms, 17 bathrooms, a swimming pool, and a 5-hole golf course. Harry was a philanthropist and had no issue sharing some of his tremendous wealth. Locally, he supported business endeavors in Kirkland Lake, donating land to various causes and supplies and materials to schools and churches. He presented the famed Lakeshore Arena to the community of Kirkland Lake, which stood proudly on Government Road for many decades. He also donated large sums of his money to deserving charities and health institutions throughout Canada, the UK, and even the Bahamas. In 1939, King George VI made him a baronet for his generous donation to St. George's Hospital in London. In 1934, Sir Harry moved to the Bahamas to evade the millions of dollars of taxes he was paying in Canada. It was there at his Westburn estate in Nassau where he met his untimely demise. Harry Oakes' body was discovered the morning of July 8, 1943, 80 years ago this year. Harry's murder was gruesome and unusual, involving a head wound, fire, and a scattering of feathers. Though many have tried, his murder remains unsolved to this day. The sensationalized crime was a major news story, making major headlines worldwide, diverting some attention from the Second World War. The murder influenced numerous books and movies, weaving elaborate tales of mafia bosses, Nazi organizations, corrupt politicians, hidden treasure, and even voodoo. His son-in-law, Count Alfred de Marigny, was initially arrested for the crime. The two had a rocky relationship, as Nancy was only 17 when they met and 18 when they were married. Given the age difference and the fact that Nancy was his third wife, many believed that Marigny was trying to marry into the Oaks' gold fortune. Along with singeing on his hands and forearms, Alfred was at the time considered to be the most likely suspect. However, the Miami police officers who investigated the case severely compromised the crime scene and may have even fabricated fingerprint evidence. Alfred would later be acquitted, and so the mystery of who killed Sir Harry Oaks remains unsolved to this day. Sir Harry Oaks left behind a tremendous legacy in Kirkland Lake through his perseverance and determination, contributions, and pursuit of gold. In many ways, the community of Kirkland Lake was created on the backbone of that tenacity, from rags to riches in the wilds of Northern Ontario. Harry was inducted into the Canadian Mining Hall of Fame in 1995, forever solidifying his role in the development of the mining in Kirkland Lake and Northern Ontario. On a grander scale, several of his homes, like the chateau, have been turned into historical sites for visitors to explore and learn about all of the amazing things he accomplished during his life. Monuments to his generosity and lasting impact can be found in Niagara Falls, Maine, and the Bahamas. This memorial book pays tribute to Harry's legacy, describing his pioneering adventures with the words, "He laid the foundation for the development of one of Canada's greatest gold camps, which has produced employment and wealth for thousands of its citizens." During the long term of years in which he acted as president, his relations with the members of this board were intimate, and the memory of his great qualities of mind and heart will forever remain with us. We know that his fine spirit of integrity and high courage will continue to live in your hearts through all the years to come. These sentiments still ring true today, as our citizens still have the courage and spirit to keep our minds operating. That's it for this episode of Fun Artifact Friday. Make sure you check out our new up-and-coming Harry Oaks exhibit that will be on our YouTube channel, and we'll see you next week. Thanks.